My daughter mocked her sister's clothes, so I set firm rules and found shows we actually share. My daughters are 10 months apart, and for most of childhood they felt like twins. Sam is 17, Izzy is 16. They read to each other, shared dolls, held hands, and people mixed them up. We did game nights and trips. The house was loud, in a good way. Now I feel guilty, because I don't like how Izzy treats her sister, and that feeling is growing. At 13, they started to split. I expected that. Teens change. I tried to stay open. Both girls are doing A-levels. Sam picked biology, chemistry, math, and animal care. She wants vet school and volunteers at the local vets. Sam and I get hair trims, paint our nails, shop for snacks, and have tea at the counter. Izzy went the other way. She lives in news clips and opinion threads and wants to argue ideas until the room is empty. She studies politics, psychology, business, and economics. She has few school friends, talks to people online who share her causes, and turns me down when I invite her out. I asked Izzy to choose things we could do if she didn't like the salon. She said I wouldn't get it. She started a dress code protest and let her leg hair grow, which is her choice. But then she mocked Sam for liking dresses and makeup. She began to pick apart every movie, even the ones she chose. Movie nights wore thin. She paused to lecture. Sam cried to me twice. When I asked her to ease up, she told us to check our privilege. I tried grounding and cutting allowance. She said it didn't matter. I took her phone. She said screens control us. Nothing worked. I loved her, but not her tone. My wife said it was a phase. I like debates, so I tried to pull Izzy's energy toward me and away from Sam. Sometimes I could. Sometimes work kept me out late. One night, Sam dressed for a date. Izzy looked her up and down and called her subordinate arm candy. I told Izzy that was not okay and gave her a consequence. She told me to forget it and stomped upstairs. I stood in the hall, stuck. I needed a better plan than punishment. I decided to meet her where she was. I made a list of shows people said she might like. I promised to spend time on her interests and keep a clear line about how we speak. I put on the first show after work. It was bright and kind. I meant to watch one episode. 5 went by. Izzy walked in, stopped, and asked if I actually liked it. A coworker told me to try it, and I was into it. Her face softened. She sat, asked who my favorite was, and tossed out more titles. I said we could try them and restart movie night, but with a rule. I bought 2 dry white boards and pens. We watch in silence. If we want to talk, we write it down. When credits roll, we talk. I need quiet. She needs a way to speak. Izzy tapped the pen and said that was fair. We tested it with a light comedy. She filled a board, flipped it, and kept writing. I kept watching and wrote a few lines too. When it ended, she talked about how the lead made her feel strong. I asked small questions so she knew I was listening. It felt like breathing again. Sam took extra hours at the vets and was out a lot, so I had more one-on-one time with Izzy. I suggested a hike near the national park. She said no. I said okay, and asked again a week later. I kept a list and brought up a new thing every few days. With Sam gone more, they clashed less. One hot day, Sam wore a playsuit. Izzy said, "Who is that for?" Sam said, "Me, because I look good," and left. Izzy stared after her, then went to her room. She didn't make another comment that week. I checked in with Sam on the way to buy uni supplies. She said Izzy's words sting, but she knows the place they come from. She said she'd be away soon and would ride it out until September. I squeezed her hand at a red light and told her I had her back. Izzy joined a debate group at college and came home wired. I asked about audiences and if I could come. She said maybe later. She met a girl named Anna. They clicked fast and did homework at our table. Izzy's laptop stayed shut most nights while they talked. The house felt different. Mornings were calmer. Izzy asked what I thought about policy and let me finish speaking. She still had opinions, but she wasn't swinging them like a bat. My project at work slowed, so I was home for breakfast. We talked and packed lunches. I kept my line in place. If Izzy took a shot at Sam or me, I named it and stopped it. If she wanted to talk ideas, I made time. If she wanted quiet, I gave it. When she wanted a show, I set out the boards. The rule felt like a path we could both walk. On our next movie night, we sat with the lights low and the boards on the table. I pressed play and didn't pause. She wrote fast, then slower. When the credits rolled, I turned down the volume and nodded at her board. She looked at me, smiled a little, and started to talk. I capped my pen and listened. Now my wife is saying I'm harsh for grounding Izzy over comments. Was I wrong?